Are you interested in hiring a lawyer for your next real estate transaction? Watch this video to learn 5 questions to ask during your next interview. Ron from Rohde Law, and in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 best questions to ask your lawyer prior to hiring somebody for a real estate transaction. I've been a practicing attorney for over 12 years. I've pitched thousands of clients, and I've seen it all, from the sophisticated general counsel of a real estate investment trust all the way to a newbie investor who's never invested in commercial real estate before, and everybody in between. And so these questions really have come up from my best practices as well as hiring lawyers myself. My main takeaway is to find the right fit. Don't get distracted by credentials, experience, or even direct referrals from somebody else. And the reason is that even a direct referral, it may have been a good attorney for your referral source, but not necessarily for you. And that's the ultimate takeaway. You know, there's infinite variations in the property type, the scenario, the investment climate, as well as you as the investor and what your goals are. Hire the firm that's a right fit for you and your goals. If you're a subscriber to the channel, welcome back. And if you're new and you haven't watched this, I normally don't have this much beard, but this is about 2 weeks. I'm a commercial real estate attorney based out of Dallas, Texas. I have my own firm here, and I love YouTube. I love putting out videos and talking about industrial real estate. That's something that I'm very passionate about. I'm also an investor. I have about 100,000 square feet of net leased industrial properties here in DFW, and I really love everything about investing in commercial real estate, and it helps that it gets my day job. I get to talk to people about leasing, about PSAs, about loan financing, and everything in between all day, every day. So let's get to the questions. Number 1, what do you want to know from me as a client? What are your goals? And I think that this question is really important because if you don't know how to start the conversation, you need to take charge. As a client, you can take charge of the initial intake and ask the question. So you say, what are your goals as a lawyer? You know, how long do you want to be doing this? Do you want to help me become a 1031? Do you want to help me be a syndicator, help me raise capital? What are your goals as a lawyer, both professionally and for this specific transaction? And finally, what are your goals for the investor? Because if you're just trying to close quickly, you're getting a smoking deal at the price, your goals may be different than somebody who is reviewing a property for a 30-year hold period, and they're going to scrutinize every single little survey objection to make sure that this is a lifetime property, maybe for redevelopment. Question number 2, what is the scope of services that you recommend for me now that we've had a conversation about our goals and your capabilities? The scope of services is really important because without having this conversation and getting a sense of what they judge you for, they as the lawyer and you as the client, then you may be prone to excess work, or you may have some tasks that get slipped, and you may have tasks that slip through the cracks. And what I mean by this is there are certain items, like let's say ordering a phase 1 report. Normally this is an investor responsibility. Maybe the broker helps coordinate, but the investor ultimately makes that phone call. The lawyer can also help with that. And so if I'm on an initial intake and they never bring up phase 1, they don't bring up environmental concerns, I may recommend, hey, do you know a phase 1 service company, and do you want me to order it? Because I'll say a lot of times we order phase 1s for our out-of-state investors who aren't familiar with service providers in Texas, in DFW. And so having that conversation about what is the scope of services, it's really fantastic to have a clear conversation about the lawyer is going to do X and Y, but not Z. They're going to do A, B, and C, but not D through G. And that clarity, I think, is the best way to start a relationship with your real estate lawyer. Question number 3. What is your fee structure? Everybody talks about money, money, money. Lawyers cost too much and investors never pay, don't appreciate it. But what is your fee structure? How do you charge? Is it just hourly? Is it a retainer? Is there a small flat fee, non-refundable? Or is there a collection on closing? What happens if we don't do the deal? Is there a refund of a flat fee? All of these questions are really important, and the lawyer should understand either options based on your goals or telling you what their model is. Now, at Ronald Rohde Law, we, as much as possible, try to work on a flat fee basis. We've done a lot of commercial transactions, and so we can best judge what the fee structure is going to cost on our time and effort. So we can propose a flat fee structure. And there are certain milestones that it is refundable if you terminate, all the way up until closing. Maybe you get a little bit back if you terminate right before closing. But that said, we think that alignment of incentives is really important, because let's talk about the traditional fee structure. The lawyer gets paid hourly for his time. He has a retainer, he bills against it, that sort of thing. If a lawyer, say myself, entrepreneurial, hardworking guy, he wants to make more money, what can he do? He can raise his hourly rate, that's option one, or he can raise the number of hours he bills. And so that to me creates a disalignment or a disincentive where if I'm working on your file, I have a tendency to generate more busy work. I'm going to send you more emails because that's time, that's real work. I'm going to chase down something and want to schedule a call with my associate to talk about how do we analyze this real problem, because my motivation to make more money is to bill more hours. Even if it's a legitimate cost, it may not necessarily be the best outcome for you as a client. A flat fee structure is better in the sense that I want to take down this property safely and efficiently for my client, but if I can review something very quickly and it takes me 30 minutes, on a flat fee model, I'm incentivized to do that quickly and efficiently. I will do the things I have to do as a professional in the market, but at the same time, I'm not going to stretch out a 30-minute issue into 3 hours because I'm trying to earn more money. My money should be made on the flat fee and generating a happy customer and repeat business. So fee structure, very important. Just so you understand and you can decide whether you want a traditional model or you want a non-traditional model. Question 4, what's your experience? How have you worked with similar investors and clients in my position, as well as this particular property type? You know, I'm going to go and say something controversial and say that, look, not every lawyer is an expert in every single transaction. It's impossible. Even the best, most experienced lawyers, they've worked on a specific client type, they've worked on a specific deal size, and they cannot be the best lawyer for every single job. In addition, there are an infinite variation of investment climates, interest rates, lending appetites, tenant approaches, tenant leverage, as well as interest rate and general economic outlook. So every single transaction is an infinite difference from the prior one. So if you accept that as a true statement, as a factual assertion, then therefore you're looking for the attorney who has the best similar experience, but not identical. And that's important because, you know, sometimes people come to us and say, well, I'm looking for somebody who has done a outdoor storage yard specifically for, you know, perishable construction materials. And they'll say, have you done a lease for that? I say, well, I've done outdoor storage. I've done commercial equipment. I don't know about construction materials in the nuance that they're perishable. You know, in my head, I'm thinking something that has to be covered. Maybe it's wrapped in plastic. So, you know, there's a shelf life to outdoor storage. I don't really know. But the point is, I'm familiar enough with industrial. We've done outdoor storage leases. I haven't done perishable construction, but I think that I understand your needs as an investor. I understand your goals as a business, and that would make me a good fit for drafting a lease like this. Question 5, and this one's really important. Who do I primarily deal with? Do I get the partner level face of the law firm at $450 an hour? Or do I get the green associate who is much more economical at $300 an hour, who has done many deals before, but they're going to be doing the heavy lifting? And there are no wrong answers. You know, I think that people get concerned, and a lot of my colleagues will say, oh, you definitely deal with a partner. Oh, you'll always get me. You get my personal cell phone, text me, call me anytime. And you know, that's fine. That's a certain level of service. But at the same time, certain investors also want to be value conscious. They don't want to spend $450 an hour to have Ron chasing down every single little email. And it might not be appropriate for smaller size deals. You know, if you're under $15 million, $20 million, you don't want a partner level chasing down every single email. You want an associate at 300. So again, just be transparent in what you're looking for, but ask the question and see how they respond. Because if you have a partner level responding to everything, I can guarantee you it's going to be very expensive. In addition, ask how the team works. How does communication, how does administrative stuff work? And every lawyer should understand that and have a good system for billing and for information and for taxes, all that. So, all right, so one more, and this is kind of a bonus question for you guys. If you find yourself with just a little bit more time on your intake or initial call, what do you do for fun? You know, I think that people forget we're people. Lawyers are people too, despite our heartless appearance. But the more that you talk to your lawyer, you ask them what they do for fun. Do they have kids? Do they like to go backpacking, car racing, whatever? You can start to enjoy the conversations or the phone calls with your lawyers a little bit more. And to the extent that you can like your lawyer just as a person, just as a human, you find him interesting, he has some dimension, versus somebody that you dread talking to your lawyer because they're so boring or they just talk about their Beanie Baby collection. I don't know. But ask them some human side of questions, and you can really start to build a long-lasting relationship with somebody that you really truly value their opinion and you enjoy talking to them. That's going to make for a better experience, because even if you don't want to talk to your lawyer, you can make them like you more and empower them to make more decisions on your behalf so that you don't worry about the legal aspect of the transaction. So that's my bonus question. Ask your lawyer, what they like to do for fun. And if there's a pause, that's not a good sign. If they just say they like to work and they want to bill 12 hours a day, I don't know how long that's sustainable for. All right, so wrapping it up, hiring a lawyer can be intimidating. I don't think it's fun. It's not an enjoyable part of the real estate process. Buying and investing in real estate is fun. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. Hiring vendors and interviewing them is not the most fun part of real estate investing. But if you take this list, if you add to it based on your unique circumstances and build a consistent list, that way when you talk to lawyers or other vendors, check out my video for hiring a lender, and you can gauge the responses. You write them down, you start to have notes, and you compare the responses of every single lawyer you interview. You will start to get really good at judging lawyers based on their initial answers. You're going to get 2 questions in with a new guy and say, whoa, I'm sorry, I got to go. This is not going to be a good fit. Let's just save our time. Because you can tell, because you have all these written answers, and you can say lawyer A said X, lawyer B said Y, lawyer C said this. Which one do you and your partners like better? Put it on a list, be a very standardized, get a very standardized list of questions, and it'll allow you to make confident hiring decisions much faster in the future. I promise it won't make paying the bill more enjoyable, but it can improve the efficiency of your legal team, and legal is such an important aspect of commercial real estate. So finally, your lawyer is an important part of your team, and I'm really a fan of this quote by Naval Ravikant. I don't know if he said it first, but play long-term games with long-term people. So the sooner that you can find your long-term people, the better off you'll be. That's it from me. Smash that like button. Drop a comment if you guys found this video funny, useful, sad. Otherwise, subscribe for more commercial real estate content, and we'll see you next time.